Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the move.
Agricole en mouvement. Hello again, St. Lucia, and welcome to the program, Agriculture on the Move. My name is Phillip Sydney. Today with me are three members of the Mille Honey Producers Cooperative Society. And to my immediate right is the Vice President of that organization, Vita John. And next to her is Mr. John Charlemagne, who is a Fleur representative of the organization. And of course, we have Mr. John Edwards, who is the treasurer. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
Nice having you all.
Thank you.
Okay, today we're talking honey production and of course the workings of the cooperative society. But before we really go into the nitty-gritty, I just want to remember one of your stalwarts who passed, all right? That's Mr. William Antoine Elias Van Vavan, who was a strong member. He was an acting president, I was told, of the cooperative, and I know he did a lot of work. In fact, I remember having him here on one of our programs.
Yes.
You know, I would like to replay that program just in his honor. You know, one of these days, because I think he did a fantastic job, and he deserved that. The cooperative will miss a strong member. You know, my condolences goes out to his wife, his children, and his family and friends, and of course the members of the society. You know, may he rest in peace. Yes. Okay, Vita, we must move on. One is gone, and I'm sure he would want you all to move on. Yeah. You all have organized, reorganized yourself after so many constraints and so many backs and forth. So right now, tell us, you have formed yourselves into a new board. Tell us the membership of that board. Who are comprised of that board?
Okay, right now we have a board member of, we've got the treasurer, the secretary, the vice president, PRO, which I am, and we have the president, who is Uralyn LaForce, a lady.
Okay.
And we've got a floor rep on it. So that's what it's comprised of. And our membership, well, we have a number of members on the list, but we have very few members, registered members, which we are working on.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us, what caused you now to revive the cooperative? Because I know there was a bit of little constraints, getting yourself together. What make you all revive the cooperative?
Well, as far as with honey, there is great potential in the bee industry, beekeeping industry. It can generate work for members and other people, and
the reason why you all came together because of the advantages of going into honey production.
Yes.
There's a demand for honey.
Yeah, and the potential it has, based on the health aspects and other things.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And for the general economy.
So, Mr. Charlemagne, you have been a honey producer from time immemorial. Right? I think, give us a little history. I know you all have a little group down in the south.
Yes, well, with me also as a member of the Mille Cooperative Society, we established as a small group as Horizon Brothers from 2001. But as the cooperative is Mille, that was our strength to organizing in a small group as Horizon Brothers, and which Mr. Antoine himself was a member of Horizon Brothers and was a member of Mille. So the interaction was like a togetherness.
Okay.
And in the past, how we look at it, most of our inputs as a cooperative, our inputs in material and in improving the beekeeping industry alongside with Mille.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Edward, you, I know, have been in the fight for a while, in the
Yes,
cause, trying
right.
to really see the resuscitation of that cooperative.
Yes.
Tell us a bit of your involvement.
Okay, before I answer your question, as someone who is involved in first aid, I noticed that you use the word resuscitation and you also use the word revive.
Yes.
Now, you revive something that is dead and you resuscitate something that life was active in and there's no sign of life, so you try to resuscitate, to bring life back into it.
Correct.
That is not the situation with Mille at all whatsoever.
Okay. All
there
right.
was a point in time, maybe 10, 15 years ago, when Mille was that way.
Okay.
But what really happened is that with the help of Mr. Vavan, like you said, a stalwart within the organization, he has done quite a bit of work. And you know, when you start to do work, and you plant a tree and there is no fruit, and then you have to nurture that tree, you have to give it fertilizer so it could grow and do whatever it has to do. And then once that tree starts to bear fruit, persons who never participate in the cultivation of that tree, they see the fruit thereon, and they want to now come and play a role that not concerned about anything that was responsible for the development of the tree. They just see all fruits ripe, and then they want to just come and pick fruit from it.
Okay.
So this is what really Mille has been going through for the past 3-4 years. Mille, as a thriving organization representing beekeepers in St. Lucia, most persons, when they speak to Mille, they say, boy, you'll have $1 million industry. And that's what everybody is interested in, $1 million industry. People are interested in money.
Yes.
They don't want to do what has to be done to bring about the money. But when they see what is about to bring to get the revenues, that's when they come on board. So what has happened to Mille, like I said, you spoke about revive. What has really happened to Mille is that some persons joined the organization. And in a matter of joining the organization within a month, they wanted to control. And then they did whatever they did. And for those of us who know about beekeeping, you know that once you have a hive, there's a tendency for the hive to swarm. That means some bees will go their own way, they will form a new queen and go their own way. So Mille at this point in time, it is capitalizing on that opportunity to go back to the drawing board and to visualize where we are and where we want to go, what our challenges are, what we want to do. Because honey is big business, like I told you. Persons keep on saying that honey is $1 million industry. We within the organization have recognized that, and this is what we want to do. So like you said, I've been involved, and my tenure is, I just have 1 year left, and I would like to know that persons would come into the organization. It's like a relay. You run your leg and you pass on the baton to somebody else, and then you move on. This is what Mille is about, a cooperative, not one individual. A cooperative is where everybody come together, you know, and work together for the betterment of the organization, and by extension, the country.
Okay, great. Okay, we're going to our first break. When you come back, I want to talk about the Department of Cooperatives' involvement in assisting you all to get you all to the level where you all want to be.
Right, thanks.
You're watching Agriculture on the Move. We are due for a break. Back soon.
St. Lucia is blessed year-round with an abundance of fruits. But do you know that most of them go to waste? Here's an opportunity to invest either from a small to a large-scale agro-processing enterprise. You can contact the Ministry of Agriculture for further information.
Welcome back to the program, Agriculture on the Move. Vita, I know now, well, in the past, I know the Department of Cooperatives have always assisted you all to at least get you all on a level. Now you all have really got back on your feet and you're all moving forward with plans, new plans ahead. How is the Department of Cooperatives assisting you?
Actually, they have been giving us guidance in terms of the way we should go about doing things, you know, what approach we should take, you know, some of the, some persons we can, liaise with, and, the different steps.
Okay.
That-
So they are on board with you all?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Were
yes.
they involved in conducting your choosing the executive or being?
Yeah, they were part.
They're part
They
and
were
parcel
part
of it?
of the at our AGM.
AGM.
Yes.
Okay. Now I know let's look at other assistance coming from the Ministry of Agriculture. I know there is the Livestock Division has been assisting you all with Marcus being the sole soldier, assisting, which I believe that there should be more, assistance coming or more staff to assist that the honey producers, because the importance of honey, in this country and beyond is big, like you mentioned. There's the millions to be made, okay. And I believe there should be more coordination, coming from the ministry, But how is it? How are they helping?
Actually, that is the way that we have to go now, collaborating with our affiliates. In that Marcus is one of those that we have to work very closely with the industry.
Okay. Now, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the cooperative department, you asked our PR concerning the cooperative department. The cooperative department is very essential because there is what we would refer to, or would like to refer to as governance. And not many people know the rules of governance. For example, we have the bylaws, and the cooperative department would ratify those bylaws and make sure that they are keeping with the rules and regulations of a cooperative. And one of the things that the cooperative played a pivotal role is that when we were going through the struggle, like I told you a few minutes ago, when you have new persons joining the organization, joining the $1 million organization and want to take over overnight, and one of the first things that wanted to be done was to get rid of the entire board.
Okay.
And this is within the bylaws of the cooperative. This is not how you operate.
Okay.
And regardless of how the cooperative was very careful in instructing individuals that the way they wanted to go is not that way, they still went and do whatever they had. Now, could you imagine if there was no cooperative, the chaos that would have been done? So the cooperative is there with us and make sure that we go along with the bylaws of the cooperative. For example, in 2016, the 20th of December, we were supposed to have our AGM on that particular day. There we had the quorum, the recommended numbers at that meeting, but there was a misunderstanding as to location.
Okay.
So the cooperative department did not have a representative there.
Okay.
So we had to reschedule. When they rescheduled, then the cooperative department was there. But persons, I don't know if you remember, there was a lot of rain between the 26th and the 27th, and even St. Vincent got hit, the cemetery and stuff like that. So we ourselves got hit and persons did not attend.
Okay.
So then now the cooperative department came in and regulated that you guys need to have this last meeting, and whoever is there at that meeting will form the quorum.
Yes, correct.
Now these are regulations.
That's right.
It's not me forming that. Persons need to educate themselves as to those regulations so that they would know how the group is governed.
That's right. That's right.
And at the end of it all, you find some people say, well, boy, okay, you had a very low number. We had a very low number because of the rain and stuff. So, but again, we had a number, and based on the laws, we had our AGM.
The laws had to go
So
through.
these are the things that people need to know, and these are the things that the AGM does regulate.
That's right.
However, the Ministry of Agriculture does assist us tremendously. For a while now, the Ministry of Agriculture, for example, you were there at the TIPA Expo, and you know that the role the Ministry of Agriculture played in assisting the cooperatives and every member of the organization.
Correct.
So we get assistance. We get assistance in the person of Anthea Joshua, who does a lot of administration and help us to develop, to grow. Sometimes we may have the practical skills as to what to do beekeeping, but the administrative skills we need someone to take us along, and we are getting there.
Okay.
The special needs, the special projects with Mr. Eden Compton and his assistant. So we still getting assistance within the personnel of the agriculture.
And what's about Jeff?
And Jeff as well, but Jeff is not really in the Ministry of Agriculture. Jeff is an integral part of our development.
Yeah,
and also ICA.
Yes, very good. But I want to go back to the south, to Mr. Charlemagne. Your group down there, How have you all gotten young persons to come on board from the south and also to get into, to gravitate into Mille?
Well, we basically do more like a community level of beekeeping.
Okay.
But on the side of the ministry, on the side of the Ministry of Agriculture, which is Dennis Marcus as Extension Officer, we try and arrange programs with the schools
Okay.
and with the Extension Officer in the South as Mr. Kodra.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're getting that kind of assistance?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So the members that under your subgroup are members of the Mille?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What are your plans, Vita?
Well, our plans right now is to undergo training. That's one of the things that we'll be undergoing training and mobilizing members, building awareness, you know, of the organization, and collaborating with, you know, the different stakeholders.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember there was this plan because of the climate change, and there was a plan to get plants planted to sort of reforest certain areas so that you can get your bees to go and forage a bit more.
Right.
Where is that project?
You see, the project, which is part of the Jeff, that was just one arm of the Jeff project for tree planting. Since Hurricane Thomas, there has been quite a bit of deforestation, like you said. But one of the biggest problems that Mille had, for example, even our brothers here, they are at the Beauséjour farms. And you know what's happening in the south as far as the Beauséjour farms are concerned.
Yes.
They were, the lands there, they were listed our brothers. But we, in collaboration with the forestry department, we needed permission in terms of ownership of the land. And then, because if you're going to plant a tree, you don't plant the tree today and expect tomorrow to get foraging capacity from that tree. The tree has to spend a few years to develop.
Definitely.
And then if the land is not yours, then they will not forthcoming in the assistance. However, it is something that is ongoing. One of the things that we want to do right now is that when new persons get into the industry, we don't want to just create a place where it's clear some land and put a few hives, but we also want to add foraging capacity by planting trees that will be able to sustain those hives in the immediate area. And you need ownership of that land.
Okay.
So if we don't have ownership, that was the biggest problem that we had in continuing. But you know, a beekeeper is always a beekeeper, and as far as we are concerned, tree planting is always part of our program, whether we have assistance from Jeff or anybody, tree planting or shrubs, herbs, whatever that is going to assist our industry, we are into it.
Okay, very good.
Actually, we are trying to encourage households, the general community, in planting of flowers around the house for, you know, for the source of nectar for our bees for production.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're due for another break. You're watching Agriculture on the Move. Don't go away. We'll be back soon. Stay tuned.
There are many opportunities in agriculture, and broiler production is one such enterprise. For further information, contact the Veterinary and Livestock Division at 468-5621.
Welcome back to the program. The South, I'm not biased with the South, you know, but I know, for example, when it comes to farming, the production of especially vegetables, the melons and tomatoes and stuff like this, the blackberry area and stuff like that. Are you all working along with those farmers in those areas? Because pollination is key, you know, to increase production. Have you all decided to put some hives in those areas where predominantly vegetables are grown?
Well, alongside with Jeff and Mille, and as Horizon Brothers, as myself, we have looked into that program in educating the farmers both on the pollination side of the vegetable production and also educating them also in what chemicals they use of a more friendly and environmental
Yes.
aspect of it.
Great, great.
And so far, it has been not exactly placing the hives at the farm, on the farm, indirect, directly, but like taking a little practice to them in the chemicals they use to be more friendly and environmentally, because the bee itself can fly. You don't want to go and put the hive exactly close to the farm, but like by using more friendly and environmental chemicals, the bee can fly at a range of 4 miles to get to the farm. But so far, the closer you put it, the better. The better, because William Antoine, with a farmer in Black Bay, which he did a little trial, he had placed 2 hives close to his farm. And on production level, he said he planted melon, a crop of melon. And when he had placed the hives there, the production level to 1 melon, it weighed 8 pounds. And he said for the past 20 years,
You never had that?
he never had that. So that was a great experience to him. Yes,
Part
in that
part
field.
of the Jeff project was for what we call rent a hive. We gave certain farmers the seeds, and we wanted to carry out that project or that survey where you give the farmers the seeds, and they introduce a hive to a particular plot where they would be able to say, well, okay, before, like the brother just said, for 20 years they never had the melon at a particular weight. So there we would have gathered the data. Once a hive is placed there, we would gather the data and could show farmers that before you had those bees there, you were producing X. Now that you have the bees here, your production has moved to Y. So it is always good to go that way. You talk about the South, and presently I am in Soufrière. I'm in Soufrière for about 1 year and 6 months now. And I remember a few months ago, I was speaking to some cantaloupe and melon farmers, and I was speaking to them concerning the awareness of pollination through beekeeping and stuff like that. Some of them played the role that they knew more than the ordinary beekeeper and decided to give you all kinds of stuff. And others say, well, okay, boy, my uncle is a beekeeper too, so I know about it and whatever. So awareness is never too much. We are trying to get this thing going. Like I said, I'm in Soufrière. And one of the things that we are concerned about as a cooperative and an organization is that for south of Ancillary, let's say from the village of Ancillary and south, to go as far as Labrie, which you talk about Black Bay and that area there, if that entire area can be considered an organic belt, you understand? Because that area has been the least interfered with as far as chemicals are concerned. So the stoppage of the chemicals, the awareness of the danger of the chemicals to the environment can be made more aware. Persons could become more aware and understand, because right now, one of the things that people tell you is that it is very difficult to get a bottle of honey in St. Lucia.
It is.
And what I use as a beekeeper, the spin that I use, I said, it is you that caused it. They asked me how. I said, by your indiscrimination of pesticides. Sometimes you may just spray big one in your house, and somebody might just say, well, mosquitoes in the area, the Ministry of Health might just go and fumigate the place. All of these things, after the years, a few years, this is what has caused for the deterioration in beekeeping right now. But we are not giving up. We are beekeepers. We are continuing the fight, but we want St. Lucians, our nation, to understand what we are going through. That is one of the challenges. You know, sometimes a beekeeper, just like the brother was saying, the same cantaloupe beekeeper, the same cantaloupe farmer, the same vegetable farmer would be using certain pesticides on his farm. And should we just bring our bees there for the vegetation processes that you said, and the use of the discriminative use of the chemicals, it will be doing more damage to the bee, the hive. So the beekeepers need to, not the beekeepers, the farmers need to understand the role that they play alongside the beekeeper for the sustainability of the industry.
So there is a need for that education, the link between the beekeepers and the farmers.
Exactly.
That is crucial.
And that is one way the Ministry of Agriculture can assist. Because sometimes you as a beekeeper, you might go to a little community and speak to people, and people might just see you as speaking in your own interest.
Yeah, so you need
and you're not in their interest. But if you have the promise of the ministry to operate in kind,
the scientific backup,
right, and they come and they go on the ground, like for example, if Marcus, as the extension officer, does not go to anybody as beekeeping is concerned, but when he hits the ground, he speaks to people in the area about the dangers of the usage of the chemicals. That would be important for the industry.
Okay.
Actually, what I was saying, like to build an awareness that we have a motorcade, you understand? You know, to pass to the different communities and giving people seeds.
You have money for that?
Well, with the getting the stakeholders involved, you know, to help us to fund that.
I think that's a very good idea. I think the schools also are involved.
Yes,
too.
yes.
I remember there was a skit that was put on. Remember that?
Daughter.
Yes, that was nice.
By Miss Nicholas, Magistrate Nicholas.
That was great. Yeah.
That was funded by Jeff.
By Jeff. Okay.
Right. So you see, the awareness is there.
So are you all in the way forward preparing plans and projects and proposals to be funded by Jeff and other related agencies? Okay,
well, presently, what our way right now, what we will be doing is working on our business plan, so to carry us to our way forward.
Okay, all right, great. Final words from you, sir.
Final, wow. I think I just have to speak.
Half an hour is much time.
Okay, well, final words from me is that, you know, as heightening the awareness, I want persons to understand that we need the help of the community and the country by large.
Okay.
I want for those agencies or those individuals who have access and permission, ownership to lands, to make it available to beekeepers so that it can assist in the production. Beekeeping can generate serious employment. Most times we look for foreign-based employment, but we can take a big bite out of the unemployment that is in St. Lucia by assisting. My final, I want to also say thanks to persons like Jeff, IECA, SSDF, because right now we have a program going on with SSDF where new young beekeepers are coming in, funding from the Caribbean Development Bank. So I want to say thank you for all of those persons. And I also want to say to the young people who are coming, this industry is a very serious one that you're coming into. And then...
You have 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I would like to have an apology for the law of production of the honey in St. Lucia.
Okay, all right. Well, Vita, or the three Johns, I want to say thank you to you all for being here. And you all have a task ahead of you. But I know you all can fulfill that. You're all strong. And of course, with Vavan in the mix still, I know you all achieved the spirit being there. Thank you again for being here. You've been watching Agriculture on the Move. Thank you for viewing. And of course, continue to view the program every Thursday on the said station. Thank you again. I'm Phillip Sydney saying goodbye and see you again. Thank you very much.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole mouvement.
Agriculture on the Move.
Agricole en mouvement.